Welcome back, everyone. Hey, everyone. Welcome to New Mexicast, the enchanting show featuring interesting people and places in New Mexico and beyond. And today we are going way, way, way beyond, down to, let's see if I can show you here on my map. Okay, so we are going to visit, we're going to talk about Rio down here, Sao Paulo, and Curitiba. And Buenos Aires is where we're checking in now, I think. Let me make sure that, yeah. So we've got, and Santiago, Chile. Santiago also, okay. So what am I talking about? I have the good fortune of interviewing Jason Rullo. He is the drummer for Symphony X, a world-renowned band, metal band, right? Or you can correct me with the actual category. Yeah, and they are on tour down in South America. And so we wanted to get him on here and chat because he is from New Mexico and he's a longtime friend of New Mexicast. So, hey there, Jason.
Hi, Rosa Linda. How are you?
I am super awesomely well. I'm really glad to talk to you. And I've never been to South America other than Venezuela for my honeymoon. So you got to fill me in on how this tour has been.
Well, you know, it's always an adventure down here, and it's people always ask us where are the best fans in the world, and I really always have to say South America. It's always incredible down here. There's so much passion. The band is so well received. We had one of the greatest shows of our lives in Chile just the other night. People singing over the band, and we're a pretty loud band, so it's kind of, when that happens, I just get chills back there, and it's really exciting. But all the shows down here are always fantastic, and you know, the culture is just great. The people are so warm, and of course the food is great. So I'm a happy guy when I'm here usually.
That's awesome. I want to get into more details about some of that stuff, but let's start by, I want to hear about, tell me first about Symphony X for people who maybe are catching this broadcast and are unfamiliar with your band.
Okay, Symphony X, they call us a progressive metal band. We're basically a metal band who we have influences all over, from classical music to classic rock. I love all styles of music, so we're kind of a big mishmash of stuff, but with an overall metal sound. We've been together 20 years now, which is amazing to me, and we're just very fortunate to still be able to tour in the world and having bigger shows, and you know, the band is still growing, so we're just a bunch of lucky guys right now.
Yeah, not a lot of bands, I think, can say not only that they've stayed together for 20 years, but that they have, I mean, if people go and take a look at the tour, they can probably see video on YouTube of some of the places you've gone just on this tour. It's, I mean, you have a sea of fans, right? You have some pretty raving fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're fortunate. The last two runs, I mean, we always do pretty well, but these last two runs, the rooms have just been packed. And it's great to see the response to the last record, which is called Underworld. It's been kind of overwhelming, really, because this climate, you know, the music scene is really hurting overall right now. You know, all the acts are kind of suffering in one way or another, and we are too, to be honest with you. It's just, like I said, the climate's just brutal. But we're still coming down here to full rooms, and people singing the new stuff, people singing the old stuff. And so it's been really great.
That is so awesome. And yeah, I can only imagine how the climate has changed. Obviously, the internet changes everything. The music industry has been transformed in good and bad ways over probably the 20 years that you guys have been together. You've seen so many changes.
Absolutely. We've weathered a few storms, especially being a metal band. They formed in the 90s when metal was kind of dead in the United States, to be honest with you. We actually started in Japan, worked our way through Europe, and then didn't get signed in the States until 2000. We formed in 94. And so, you know, we kind of weathered that, came back, metal kind of came alive again, and yeah, we've gone through some interesting stuff in terms of that, for sure.
Yeah,
kind of full circle, we're back here again, you know, and it's cool.
I was going to ask about that international. Obviously, you're coming off of a European tour, which was, how long did that last? That was a long.
That was a 5-week run, yeah.
Yeah, you did a lot of shows in that 5 weeks.
Yeah, it was 28 shows.
Wow, and we tried to connect during that. We did a few blab broadcasts, but it was very difficult to connect because you were really working nonstop.
Yeah, it was crazy, and the internet wasn't always very friendly on that trip. So
yeah, well, I'm glad it is working for us today. And
yeah.
I wanted to talk about the international challenges. First of all, obviously your fans are worldwide. you do have a good following, a great following here in the U.S., but it seems like sometimes when you guys go elsewhere, you even have a greater fan base. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. Things have been pretty good in the U.S., but yeah, like I said, we come down here, we play for twice as many people, that kind of deal. There's fans, there's been fans of the band since day one, and yeah, again, we're just fortunate to be here and to see these rooms full again, because you never know. We go away and do a record, and we're kind of out of the picture for a couple of years. And in this day and age, when kids can't even listen to a whole song,
Right.
to be gone for a couple of years could be like, oh, who are those guys? But luckily, we just kind of have carved our niche, and people love what we do, and they come back and they're still telling their friends. And now that we've been a band for 20 years, and it's kind of always been this way, where we have this incredible age range in the audience, but it's even more evident now with kids from 12-year-old kids all the way up to their grandparents. It's kind of amazing.
It's got to be a little weird for you.
It is sometimes. It's like, wow, so we had this woman, she had to be easily in her 80s. And she goes, I'm not just here for my grandkids. I'm here because I love the band.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
I'm really glad to hear that. So, okay, so tell me about you. You said something about customs. You guys, the challenges of traveling internationally with the band.
Yeah, and it's everywhere, but South America is always, as you can imagine, there's kind of a lot of craziness going on down here. Yeah. So you never know what's going to be off. A lot of times you get promised the world. Your equipment rider is supposed to be a certain way. Oh yeah, we have your stuff, and you get there and it's not even close, and all that kind of thing. Well, last night we got into Buenos Aires, and the customs agent said, oh, well, the promoter didn't do the proper paperwork. He didn't pay whatever he had to do. And so your equipment is not going anywhere right now. So here it is. It's 1 o'clock Argentina time here, and we still don't have our gear. They went back this morning. The guy supposedly forgot the right paper and all this stuff, and now they're trying to charge him 20 times what they were going to. And it's on them, because we did our part, and we're here, and it's really frustrating because you go through so much to get here, physically getting beat up in these plane rides, crossing the Andes back and forth like it's nothing, and all this stuff. And then you get here, and they don't do a simple thing like that, and you're going, okay, well, show's in 9 hours. Let's see what happens.
Well, I hope
we don't
so.
have our
Otherwise,
gear.
What will you do if you don't have equipment? I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have
we'll
a chat,
jam
a sit-down
with the
fireside chat with your fans.
Yeah, right. We'll go look for some street performers on the road in the street and just play on the corner for them or something. I don't know.
That'd be awesome. I bet they'd love it. But yeah, they would be pretty upset about missing out on the concert. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, but I do want to talk about one more thing. So you are from New Mexico, and one of the connections that my viewers have to you is that I did a story about the fact that you own a gourmet food truck. Right? And so you have music is your passion, drumming is one of your passions, but another one of your passions is food. And so they'll have to go back and see that story if they want to know more about that. But whenever you go to one of these, a new country or a country you hadn't been to in a while, you told me once that you go there trying to get a sense of the local flavor through the food, and also obviously connecting with people. So what did you find? What are you finding in South America?
Oh, it's a ball down here. I mean, well, they have in Argentina, they have the best steak on the planet, period. So the reason for that is, it's pretty flat here. The Andes is to the west, of course. And so the cattle are all healthy, grass-fed, and they never even have to climb up a hill. So they're tender.
Lazy cows.
So and they
Vacas.
really take pride in it. Yeah, so. And it's all cooked perfectly, because there's a lot of pride in that. Each one each steak that is served is just like, here it is. This is what we're proud of. And the other thing that's down here all over the place that is just incredible is the produce. I mean, the fruit, the fresh juices. It's just amazing. And it makes me sad to go home to the States and deal with all this GMO food that we have to deal with, and having to pay out the wazoo for organic stuff, which is just the way food's supposed to be. It's kind of crazy. After being in Europe for so long, and I vacationed for 2 weeks after, so I was there for 2 months straight. I got home and I was like, now what am I going to eat? I really was like, besides the red and green chili, after that I was like, wow, there's like no flavor. It's incredible, the difference. It really is. So, maybe this could be a little wake-up call to some people who don't realize how different it really is, but in Europe and in South America. But we have food issues in the United States that we all need to really address, and it's kind of a huge, important thing. It affects our health, and course, it tastes a heck of a lot better when it's grown the right way. So yeah, we're just down here enjoying the spoils of war, if you will, fresh squeezed orange juice.
Oh man, now you're making us
Good
all
stuff.
jealous, Jason. Come on, I want that. Well, that's awesome.
That's the idea,
It's
right?
so good to talk to you. I think that your fans will really appreciate seeing this other side of you. I know they love your music. I know they follow the band, but it's nice to see the person behind the music, because you play hard up there on stage. I've seen you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been to the concert, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a 90-minute workout. So that's the other part of, the food thing. It's important for me. I have to stay nourished and I have to stay well rested. And food is huge for that, obviously. It's you are what you eat, right? So it's my fuel. So I'm pretty careful what I put into my body. I mean, I'll have a beer or two here and there to enjoy, at the end of the night. But other than that, I'm eating really well and taking really good care of myself out here. Make sure I can hang in there for the whole
So
tour.
you can keep it
feel
up.
good.
Awesome. Well,
Yep.
yeah, and if they watch the story on New Mexicast, they'll see you did have a heart scare, and now you're back to full health. So
Yep.
you're doing something right.
Yeah. And to anyone who's watching, who has kind of acknowledged that, I want to say thanks to all the fans who have been incredibly kind and incredibly supportive. And I see these kids and they always ask, how's your heart? Everything cool? Everything cool? And they're so concerned and so happy to have me back. And it gives me chills. It's really flattering. And I'm really blessed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we are very grateful that you took the time to talk with us today. And how do people find you if they want to follow your tour or they want to follow you personally? What's the best way for people to find you?
Yeah. I have a website, jasonrullo.com, but the most updated thing is the Facebook stuff. So there's a Jason Rullo artist page, and then my regular Jason Rullo page, and there's a Symphony X page on Facebook, which gets a lot of the videos and pictures from each night and stuff. So that's kind of the quickest way to stay with it, probably.
Okay, well, we'll check in maybe when you have your next tour, and thanks for taking the time. And if you are interested in learning more about any of the other stories that I do, including Jason's, you can go to New Mexicast TV on YouTube, or just check out newmexicast.com. I also do a lot of live streaming on Facebook. That's facebook.com/New Mexicast. I'm Rosa Linda Román. Thanks for tuning in, and bye, Jason.
Bye. Thank you, Rosa Linda. Have a good day.
You too.